That's what Nu Skin is all about. I can't emphasize this enough. Nu Skin has been in business for 39 years with this principle of disruption sitting at the heart. Now, that may not matter to you. The past doesn't matter to anyone. It's what we do in the future that really matters. But what you need to know, if you haven't been with Nu Skin for the last 5 years, you need to understand what is in our DNA is disruption. Let me talk about disruption for a second. Disruption is what moves industries forward. When you think about disrupting, when you're starting a business, and you can name any of the largest companies in the world, whether you're talking about Apple, Amazon, Facebook, Google, whatever, they're disruptors. McDonald's, Coca-Cola, all of these companies, greatest companies in the world, Nike, are disruptive. And they're disruptive because they identify markets that are in need of disruption, and they go after those markets. That's what Nu Skin does. Nu Skin was founded in 1984 on this principle of disruption. Personal care, the personal care industry was growing massively in the 80s, and they were building bad products with bad ingredients. But as long as people were willing to pay, and as long as we had a good enough marketing pitch behind it or jingle, people would buy products regardless of what was in them and what wasn't in them. And Nu Skin's principle of disruption was all about building all of the good, none of the bad. But that wasn't the only disruption. The other disruption was how they take those products to market. And what they realized is when you have really, really good products, you need a really, really good voice to sell those products. And unfortunately, in the retail world, which is where all personal care, beauty and wellness products are sold, now that's sitting on a virtual retail shelf, there's no way you can explain products. And so they employed a disruptive model at the time, which was called network marketing, direct selling, word of mouth marketing. Today you could call it influencer marketing or micro affiliate or nano affiliate marketing, because by the way, that model's disrupting everything else. So how you build an enterprise is all about identifying, and a long-standing enterprise is to identify disruptions that you can then take advantage of, right? Does that make sense? So the disruptions we look out there since 1984, and we see how the world's changing. About every generation it changes. Why does it change? Because generationally the population changes. What Gen Zs want, what Blakely wants for her family is different than what I want for my family as a Gen Xer, which is different than what my father as a baby boomer wanted, which is different what the World War II generation. So every new generation creates new opportunities for disruption because the consumer, the customer, wants something different. That makes sense? So we look out at the future. About 4 or 5 years ago, we were looking at what's the next evolution of Nu Skin. And we had built a great foundation. But when we looked forward, there were many roadblocks ahead of us. And we were trying to decide, how do we carve a unique space that will enable us to be successful? And there were 3 macro trends that I talk about all the time. And so I apologize if you've heard this before, but they're so important to building a business because those macro trends are what impacts and enables us to disrupt. The first one was personalization. Every aspect of your life is being disrupted right now by personalization, and you may not know it. The aggregation of data through your mobile phone, through the car that you drive, through the bike that you exercise on, through the watch that you wear, everything is becoming connected. It's becoming connected because companies want the ability to connect with their customers in a unique way in order to meet customers' needs and to dominate the customer experience. Does that make sense? So the reason your car's connected today isn't because they like to put an additional 20% of cost of goods in the car. It's because Tesla wants to know exactly where you drive. They want to know exactly what you do in order to sell you the Cybertruck, or in order to sell you solar panels, or in order to sell you whatever, and they build ecosystems on the data. Well, it's easy to do when you have devices. It's really hard to do when you're selling lotion, right? How do you connect lotion? I guess you could put nanobots in the lotion. You wipe them around, and then the data walks around on you all day. That's a little creepy. So we started to look at our business, and I'll talk about this. We had devices. We had almost $1 billion business in devices, but none of them were connected. So the first one was disrupting the industry of beauty and wellness with personalization and IoT connectivity. The second big disruption we were looking at is what's happening in the marketplace around advertising. Guess what? Today, the biggest companies in the world have shifted all of their ad budgets away from that model, not all, but 80% is the data point, to influencer and affiliate marketing. This idea of social commerce is disrupting every industry. The way we reach customers as brands is disrupting. And then the third element, oh, sorry, the slides are gone. Sorry, I'm pointing. The third element this guy's talking about is the gig economy. The way people work is just different. Is that true or false? How many of you have kids that are between the age of 20 and 25? Raise your hand. Okay, do any of them have a traditional job? I only have one. And they don't have traditional jobs. That's not saying anything against them. They've found a better way to live. Smarter, not harder, right? They've found that flexibility and fulfillment's more important than what I'm putting in my bank account. I want a quality of life. Imagine that. This whole gig economy has been birthed because millennials and Gen Zs, those people below 40, want a different way to live. And by the way, it aligns pretty well with what we do. Jeff Bezos, working in a firm in New York City, hedge fund, is out there and he hears about this thing called the internet. He goes to his boss, who, by the way, he had an extremely successful job. He says, I think I want to start a bookstore. And the guy says, you're crazy, but they were investing in a lot of companies, and so it was like, you're crazy, but we're putting more money into this thing. So he heads out to Seattle to start the company, and guess what he names it? Amazon. So if he named the company, what if you were starting a bookstore, what would you name the bookstore online? Books.com? Booksonline.com? I mean, that's what I'm thinking. BarnesandNobleBooks.com? I don't know, you'd come up with something. He named it Amazon. Why did he name it Amazon? The everything store. Disruptive companies see a vision and a picture so much greater than the one that they're in from the beginning. And that's what makes great companies. So keep this in mind. When we go forward, there are 8 billion people on the planet. 8 billion people in this world, all looking to look, feel, or live better. Is that true? Every single person that we meet today, I don't know, think of the taxi driver, think of the person at the rental car, think of the person at the hotel, think of everyone we literally meet every single day. Our children, our parents, our loved ones, our enemies are all striving to either look, to feel, or to live better. Is that true or false? 8 billion people is the market that we want to go after. If we're talking about Nu Skin in our everything store, we're going after 8 billion people. So then we start to think about, how do we look as a company? We have a global mission since 1984 of being a global force for good by empowering people to live better lives, to look, feel, or live better. Is that a mission? Is that an Amazon mission, or is that a books.com mission? That's an Amazon mission, right? It is all about helping every single person on the planet to look, feel, or live better. But how do we do that? How can we do that as a lotions company or putting supplements in our bodies? We haven't yet found nanobot technology that people are going to feel comfortable with. So we start to really think about this. How do we do this? What is our strategy or our vision and strategy to accomplish this? And we came out a year and a half ago with the NuVision. We call it NuVision 2025. No, that doesn't mean that by 2025 we're going to accomplish the everything company. It means we will be formally on our way in transitioning this business to become that. Phase 1, pre-phase, pre-marketing, whatever you want to call this. NuVision 2025 is about how we are going to become the world's leading integrated, important word, beauty and wellness company, powered by you, our dynamic affiliate opportunity platforms. We're doing that through 3 distinct levers, and you've heard about some of these already, so I'm not going to repeat what's already been said. First and foremost, empower me. Second, affiliate-powered social commerce, and third, through our digital ecosystem. Let me describe how this comes together to be the everything strategy, okay? So the first one is all about empower me. We've been working, as I said, to transition this beauty and wellness company, $2 billion and change, 50 countries around the world, 500,000 affiliates. We got a great starting footprint. What other startup has those sorts of assets to start with? We've got these assets. We've got a nearly $1 billion beauty device systems brand that Euromonitor, by the way, has already claimed Nu Skin as the world's leading beauty device systems brand, how do we take those elements, and if personalization is a massive disruptive trend, go and disrupt the $1.2 trillion beauty and wellness market? How do we take the assets we have to go disrupt the marketplace? That's what Empower Me is all about. It's providing personalized beauty and wellness to every single person, utilizing data, AI, ML, infrastructure, data-driven or digital infrastructure to enable that personal engagement and that personal experience. In other words, what we're trying to accomplish, just to put it in layman's terms for me, we're trying to do what Tesla did to the auto industry, what Netflix or YouTube TV has done to traditional television. Any industry you want to play with, that's what we're doing. Now, here's the surprise and the secret. No other company in the beauty and wellness space is positioned to do what we're doing about. No other company has devices that are now being connected. LumiSpa.io was our first device. No other business has devices that are now being connected to an ecosystem, an app, Vera and Stella integrated ecosystem that enables them to engage, your customers to engage with you as their affiliate and the company, triangulated to give them a better holistic experience. That is different. That is unique. They don't have the device system, they don't have the affiliate network, and they don't have the digital ecosystem to do what we're doing. So, really big move. Empower Me. Number 2, affiliate-powered social commerce. While every other company is being disrupted in the advertising space, how do I go acquire customers if I can no longer place a Super Bowl ad that anybody's watching? So what's everyone doing? They're going out and getting Kim Kardashian to talk about their products. But I watch these guys and I listen to what these influencers are talking about, and I love to look at them, but I don't believe a word that's coming out of their mouths when it comes down to, do you really love this product, or are you just getting paid a whole lot of money to post on it? I could give you the conversion rates, and I won't, but the conversion rates off the dollars spent in traditional influencer advertising are minuscule. So what are companies doing? They're trying to find authentic people who actually love the product to post about product and to share a real-world experience. That's such a novel idea, right? That's such a novel idea. Like, if I think about it, we've never used that model before. Like, if you think about, I saw a movie the other day, right? The Top Gun movie, I saw that. I'm watching it, and I get out of the movie, and I didn't want to talk to anybody about that movie. I loved it so much, I just didn't want to talk to anybody. That's not how human nature works. We talk about what we love naturally. Our model, affiliate-powered social commerce, is about enabling you and everyone else who ever tries a Nu Skin product to simply go online, to post and share, to convert that person to a customer, and then to engage with them through a digital ecosystem to work. In other words, we're trying to take our greatest strength, which is authentic word of mouth, and we're trying to then go out and disrupt all the brands that are out there that are paying Kim Kardashian $500,000 a post and getting a 0.03 conversion on that post, by the way, such that they can't even pay the $500,000 for the post. That model is unsustainable. We're seeing it with the economy melting down now. It's happening as we speak. Direct-to-consumer companies are imploding right now. They'll continue to implode because the CAC model, the customer acquisition cost model, doesn't work when inauthenticity is the means of the advertising. In other words, when people are talking about something they don't actually love, or people don't believe they love it because they know they're getting paid, there's no authenticity. When I post something, I mean it. That's the power of this model. That's the power of the model you use. That's why it's disruptive. And then the third part, this social commerce trend is going to continue to grow, by the way. This is a huge market, and what's going to happen in advertising, it's just going to melt away, and you're going to find that affiliate and influencer at the micro and nano level, people with 10,000 followers or less, 1,000 followers nano, that's where the money's going to go. This is where the world is going. Brands are going. This is where we already are. We know this space. It's our DNA. And then the last part of this is how do we then connect at scale? I mentioned earlier that we have 50 countries in the world. Guess what? There are about 167, at last count that I know, countries we're not in yet. But of the whole audience of 8 billion people in the planet, in Nu Skin today, we have about a million connected customers, a million registered customers. So if you're starting your business today, does a million divided by 8 billion sound like the market opportunity is over, or does it sound like it hasn't even begun? It hasn't even begun. Haven't started constructing the skyscraper yet. We've just built a foundation in 50 countries with amazing leadership, a solid foundation, so that we can now. I lived in Tokyo for 10 years, and you would always see these things. You'd see a fence go up, and for about 3 years, you'd see the green fence with the pictures on it, and you'd see nothing. For 3 years, you would see nothing. But you heard all this banging and clattering and trucks and trailers, and everyone's backing in and out, and within 6 months, there's an 86-story high-rise. 3 years to build the foundation, and 6 months to stand up 83 stories. That's how fast this business will scale. 38 years of building a foundation. $2 billion, by the way. There are very few companies that can describe a foundation that solid. Our balance sheet, our income statement, you can look at us. We're publicly traded, by the way. That's another benefit, is you can actually audit everything I'm saying, which is very unlike other companies. And you can see we have significant cash on our balance sheet. We have significant access to more capital at very low interest rates thanks to our finance group. We are very prudent in how we manage this business moving forward. That high rise is about to start being built with Empower Me. The question is, are we on the first floor or are we somewhere else? And if you're going to build that, you always hear ground floor. I don't mean to be that way. But that's kind of where we are. We only have 1 million people.